Hi, I'm Chris from Airwindows, and as always, it is Sunday, and I have a plugin for you. And this one might actually be desirable to more than a few people. It kind of bounced all around. Sometimes I'm just pursuing ideas that interest me, and sometimes I follow stuff through and produce things that can be handy to people in a more general sense. This might be one of those, and it is called TripleSpread. Now, what TripleSpread is I am following up on what I was doing with GlitchShifter. GlitchShifter is the weird pitch shifter thing that can range pretty far afield as far as tightness of timing is concerned, but it always tries to splice its pitch changing zone in a clean and tidy way that doesn't require a fade as part of the loop. This is technical. Let me just show you what TripleSpread can do. We'll start playing just a guitar noise, because why not? We can do this. Don't mind me bumping the microphone. TripleSpread does a fairly common trick, which is to pitch change two copies of the audio. One goes to the left, one goes to the right, and you pitch change one of them up and you pitch change the other one down. Now, the thing about it is that this is the GlitchShifter algorithm. So this has a different color to it and also has the capacity to get really loose and funky as far as timing is concerned. So what we get is the spread control will let you stereo split it like this, or even get quite ridiculous. And you wouldn't want to split it or pitch change it that much. By the way, going the opposite direction just reverses the directions of the pitch change in case you want one of the sides to be up and the other down. Dry Wet does an interesting additional thing, though, and I'll show you what that is. Dry Wet is also doing a mid-side control on the resulting stereo split of the, like I'm feeding a single guitar that's centered in here. And what it's doing is that's in the middle. And so since it's the same for both sides, we're taking one up and the other down. I can also show you that if I'm doing this with two separate recordings, you're getting a flangey effect, but it's not really, because it's not a flange. It is a pitch change effect. And the only time it's going to act flangey is when the loops wander into the same vicinity. In fact, if we make it have a very low tightness, we'll get a more striking effect because it's wandering farther away from perfect timing. Perhaps quite far away. And you can hear that that's really thrown the timing off completely. So we'll tighten it back up. Or we can grunge it up like this. And that's starting to get a little nastier. So again, this is not a flange. This is a pitch shift effect that happens to be wandering in and out of the zone where it's tightly locked up. It's over a little buffer, and tightness determines how big the buffer is. If the buffer is too short, it gets real gnarly. Actually, 1 is nothing. So this might be up to your speed. A little nastiness. Yeah, let's put the center back in. There is one more trick going on in here, which is that the dry wet contains a fade on the mid channel of the mid side of the stereo effect. So the farther you push it away from dry, you start losing that center channel. I'll show you that now. Here's the center. Now we're getting a more widely separated sound. If we take it all the way to wet, not only do we not have that center dry, but we've also removed the whole mid-channel from the stereo, so what you're getting is nothing but side content here. It sounds a little bit like a stereo effect, but it's exaggerated beyond all reason. So what we get out of this is we can bring in a left and a right channel. And now listen to what we get with our 3 guitars here. I'm going to start bringing in the dry wet, and it will start bringing stuff wider than the actual full left, full right wideness, using this stereo spreader, this triple spread. Halfway is fairly balanced, but you'll notice it's really wide. Super wide. And we can probably sit around in here as your widest point. And we can fool with the spread. Or fool with the tightness. And if we want to do some really exaggerated effect that no longer even sounds like, we'll go more ambient with it. Here's our dry again. We can spread it a little further. And that's a very big layered sound. Sounds like about 12 guitars. It's out of just 3. Or now it sounds like about 5 guitars, but it's out of just 1. Oh, by the way, don't expect to get sensible results if you're putting percussion or drums into here. Because even if you tighten the tightness up a little bit, well, I don't think it's very good to do on drums. Weird though it is. Old drum widener. Yeah, so as you can see, I'm telling you you can't do this, and then proceeding to do it, and it's a weird little effect. I wouldn't want to use this in a whole track, but obviously you could kick it in for some kind of weird side effect or something. Throw it in a bus and... So there you have it. Let's go back to OBS. I don't want to take too long. People gripe when I make long videos. Although it's kind of like, yeah, you get these long videos. Yeah, I keep using the same music because, you know what? I have to work harder on plugins than I do on trying to make music. And I've always done that. So I'm never going to be a rock and roll star able to make great music. And, you know, that's fine. Because as long as you can download this and use it and get a vague sense, or even read the threads in which I posted and not watch the video if it bugs you. This is free. This is for you. If this seems like the sort of stereo spreading kind of thing that you would find super helpful, and that you can dial some interesting, useful things in there, and it has a tone that is useful to you. Because the whole thing about this plugin is it is built off of the GlitchShifter code. So this does not do pitch shifting the way other people's plugins do pitch shifting. This does it a weirder, glitchier way, which is not completely well behaved and, you know, maybe a little bit challenging. But by the same token, what that gives you is it doesn't sound the same as everything else. And especially with the cutting of the mid channel and basically the way that you can push dry wet to make things ever more stereo and ever more insanely wide, as long as you use tastefulness with it, because you can push it too far to the point where it probably doesn't sound wide anymore because it's too exaggerated. But find the correct thing. It might also be useful on things like stereo synthesizer pads, where you've already got it being stereo, but you want more. Or you've got a stereo ambient synthesizer pad, and you want it to have weird little echoey qualities and not be completely locked down. And that's when you would turn tightness down and widen the buffer zone so that it can splice and loop over a wider range. And, well, knock yourself out. That's what this is about. This is for adding to your toolkit, and it's for people who don't have everything lined up and ready to go, because this might fit into the toolkits of some people who wouldn't use like literally every Airwindows plugin, but you might find a place for this one if it does the sound you need, because if it does exactly the sound you need, you might not find that elsewhere. And those are the ones that I like. So yeah, the reason I'm still doing this is because I'm supported by Patreon. I'm building up the Patreon to where I can do even more ambitious and awesome things, but more will be revealed as far as that's concerned. And on that note, if you would buy this as a separate plugin, throw another $50 my way using the Patreon. If you wouldn't do that, but you were waiting for me to justify you staying on the Patreon, then hopefully this helped you out with that. And yeah, I will be returning to my question and answer sessions on Monday. I'm thinking of calling it Nicola, but for reals this time, because last Q&A on Monday, I coded a plugin live. But rather than coding just a plugin live, I said that I was going to do Nicola, which is a Tesla coil imitation that didn't really quite work out. And I ended up doing another one called Bass Amp. So that's coming too, eventually. But it might be a good idea for me to try to live code Nicola on Monday. And we'll see where that gets. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.